Hello Cloud Gurus, and in this lesson I'll be demonstrating how to set up your OSX operating environment which you'll use for the remainder of the course. So in this lesson we'll be installing Python, the AWS CLI tools, Boto 3, an editor, and a number of prerequisites for the course. Any relevant URLs will be displayed on your screen during the appropriate section of this lesson. So let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to load our AWS website. And we're going to log in with the username and password for the DDB admin user we created in the last lesson. And as a reminder, you'll need your MFA code, which we also configured. So go ahead and enter that now and click Submit. Now the section we'll need for this lesson is CloudFormation. So go ahead and click that. And we'll need the low admin stack. So if you go ahead and click on output, you'll see the access key and the secret access key, and we'll need both of those for this lesson. So leave that loaded. Now for OSX, the first thing that we're going to install is a piece of software called Brew. So if you Google for Homebrew, you're looking for the missing package manager for OSX. Now Brew is an application that will allow you to quickly and easily install utilities that don't come as standard with OSX. So we need the URL here, and I'll also display this on screen on this video. So copy the URL, open a terminal window, and I'll increase the size of the text on this window to make it easier for you to see, and paste in the text that we just copied. Press enter. Now this will inform us that we don't have a number of required tools installed, and this is specific to OSX. We need to install the Xtools Developer Tools package, and we can do that nice and simply by clicking on the Install button. Select Agree, just say Continue if you are on battery power. Now this will take a few moments, and I'll pause the video until it's complete. So this is complete now, and the software is installed. So just click on Done, and returning back to the window, you can see that it's paused, and you can just press Return to continue the install. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. And this will ask you for the root or admin password of your OSX install. So you need to go ahead and type that and press enter. So as you can see, this is downloading and installing Homebrew. And this will just take a few moments. So again, I'm going to pause this video and I'll resume once it completes. So I'll clear the screen and I'll type brew doctor to test that Homebrew is correctly installed. And we should receive the message indicating that your system's ready to brew, and that means we can continue. So the next thing we're going to do is install Python. And we're going to do that using Brew. And the command we're going to use is brew install Python. So go ahead and run that. And again, this will take a few moments. It will install Python and a number of prerequisites. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this video and I'll resume once it's complete. Okay, so this is finished. And I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen. And I'm going to test Python 2.7 is installed by running the following command. And you should receive a message saying that Python 2.7 something is installed. And this may vary slightly depending on the date when you perform this task. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go ahead and do is install the AWS command line tools. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen, and I'm going to use brew once again to install the tools. And the command is brew install AWS CLI. So go ahead and run that. So I've cleared the screen now, and to test that it's installed correctly, run the following command. And again, this will be displayed on your screen. And the result should be that the AWS CLI, and then a version number, and then the version of Python, and then the version of the operating system, and then finally the version of Boto Core that the application uses. So what we've done so far is installed Xcode, we've installed Homebrew, we've used Homebrew to install Python, and finally the AWS tools. The final large prerequisite that we need is Boto 3, which is the Python AWS SDK. So I'm going to go ahead and clear the screen. Now to install the Boto 3 SDK, we use pip, and pip is an application that's installed along with Python, and it's used for managing Python modules. And the command for installing Boto 3 is pip install Boto 3. So go ahead and run that now. And this might, as always, take a few moments to install, so I'm going to go ahead and pause the video and wait for completion. And this is completed now, and this means that we've got the ability to write applications which interact with AWS using the Python language, and this will be used extensively throughout the course. So the last couple of things that we need is we need to install some additional Python modules that will be used during the scripts that I demonstrate throughout the course. And the first one of those is TQDM, which is a progress bar library. And to install that, I'll run pip install TQDM. So go ahead and run that. The next module we're going to install is a module called Faker. And Faker is a Python module which is used to generate fake data. And we're going to use Faker to generate all of the students and teachers and other information for our Learning Online case study. Now, to install Faker, all we need to do is run a pip install Faker. Just make sure that command's typed out with the uppercase F, and that'll go ahead and install the library. So go ahead and clear the screen. Now, the last module you're going to install is a module called multiprocessing. Multiprocessing is used by Python to allow us to use multi-threaded applications. Now, I don't expect you to know yet what multi-threading is, but it will be used during one of the performance scaling lessons, and so we need to ensure this is installed. So to install this, we use the following command: pip install multiprocessing. So go ahead and run this command, and before you run it, you should know that this may also need prerequisites to run. One of them is GCC, which is a compiler, and if this isn't installed, we might need to perform some extra steps to enable this. So go ahead and run it and see what the output is. So on an OSX machine, this should be fine, and you can see if you do run GCC, it tells us that it's installed. Okay, so that's all of the modules, libraries, and prerequisites installed. So I'm going to go ahead and open my web browser, and I'm going to download a text editor. And this text editor is called Atom, and I'm going to be using Atom to step you through some of the Python scripts and JSON files that are used throughout this course. And Atom provides a nice GUI environment with syntactical highlighting of code, and will make it much easier to understand and follow along with the examples. So go ahead and type Atom Editor into Google, and it's usually the first link. And as we're using OSX, we'll click on Download for Mac, and this will start downloading. And once this is finished, we can click on Open in Finder, locate the application, drag this into our Applications folder, and then we can run Atom and it'll start up. Just say Open to the security prompt, and we can go ahead and close the additional tabs which are opened the first time you install the editor. So the last thing we're going to do is configure the AWS tools with a profile which is going to be used to connect to AWS. Now, the profile we're going to use is low admin. So I'm going to ask you to open the terminal again, and we're going to run the following command: AWS configure -- profile low admin. And this is going to run through a number of configuration steps. And as we've specified a profile option, it's going to configure the specific low admin profile. And every script and lesson in this course is going to assume that you have the low admin profile configured. So it's essential that this step is completed. Now, this will ask you for a number of things. It will ask you for an access key ID, a secret access key, a region, and a default output format. So let me show where you obtain these details. If we go back to our web browser and the CloudFormation Management Console, you'll see in the low admin stack, which you created in an earlier lesson, we've got an access key and a secret key. So go ahead and copy the access key first and paste that into this window and press enter. UBS for the secret access key and follow the same steps. Copy that, paste it. UBS for a default region, and I'll be showing you a link on your screen now which shows a list of the region codes for the regions that are displayed in your AWS console here. So you need to pick the region code that matches the region that you've selected as your default region. Now for me, this is US East 1, so I'm going to go ahead and type that. And then press enter, and then you'll be asked for a default output format. And to keep things consistent, I'm going to ask that you pick JSON. So I'm going to go ahead and type that now, and I'm going to press enter. And that's it. That's the AWS command line tools installed. Now, in order to test these, I'm going to clear our screen, and we're going to run the following command: AWS S3 ls, and that will perform a list of any buckets from S3 in your AWS account. But we've got to remember to put the -- profile low admin. And if we press enter, we should see a number of S3 buckets listed. There may be only one, And that's the bucket that CloudFormation has used to upload the templates which you've already done, so low machine and low admin. This is the bucket that those templates are uploaded to as part of the automated CloudFormation steps. So if you don't see any more buckets than just this one, that's fine. The fact that you haven't received an error means that you've completed the steps correctly as part of this lesson. So there's 2 more things to do before we're ready to complete this lesson. The first is I want you to download the course files onto your local machine. That is, if you're going to complete these demos and lessons on your local machine. So the first thing we need to do is to open a new tab. And we need to paste in this URL. And I'll make sure that this URL is on your screen right now so it's easy for you to see. And this is the GitHub repository for this course. So if we go ahead and open this URL, and then I want you to click on the clone or download button, and I want you to click on download zip. And this will download a zip file of all of the course files for this course onto your local machine. So once that's completed, we'll open the folder, and it should have either auto unzipped it for us, or there will be a zip file here. If there's a zip file, just double click on it under OSX and it will extract it. Otherwise, if you're using Safari and it's automatically done it, you can just expand this and you'll see all the course files for this course. Now the one we're specifically interested in is the retry.json file. And this file adjusts the maximum number of attempts that an operation can have before it fails. Now some of the demo lessons during this course will be showing you how performance and throttling works. And we don't want a low retry value to impact the demonstration of those concepts. So this file essentially puts an unlimited number of retries on all operations, so they won't fail unless we tell them to. So we're going to go ahead and copy this file, and we're going to copy it into a hidden folder in our home directory. So let me show you how to do that. So we're going to open the command prompt. So we're going to go into a hidden folder inside our home directory. So we're going to go cd tilde, which will take us to our home directory. And then we're going to go cd.aws, and that's a hidden AWS configuration folder that's in our home directory. Now in here, we're going to make a directory, and the directory is going to be called model. So we're going to cd into model to change directory into that folder. And then we're going to copy the retry.json file in here. So we're going to copy, and we're going to copy from the tilde, as in home directory, downloads, and then the CloudGuru DynamoDB master folder, and then the 01 configuring your AWS account lesson folder, and then underscore retry.json, and we're going to copy it to dot, which signifies the current directory. So that's going to copy the retry.json folder from the folder where you just downloaded it from GitHub, and it's going to copy it into the .aws model folder. And all that does, as I just mentioned, is to adjust the default retry behavior in the AWS CLI and the Boto 3 library. Thanks for listening, Cloud Gurus, and that's the end of this lesson, and you've successfully configured all of the tools, libraries, and modules required for demos within this course. If you do have any questions, feel free to reach out directly or via the Cloud Guru forums. Otherwise, you can go ahead and complete this lesson and move on to the next.